We are turning this $20 Lenovo ThinkCentre into a dedicated router capable of 2.5 gigabits per second. Now, why would I choose something like this over a micro PC in, a Lenovo ThinkCentre or even an actual router option? Well, for one, these are super accessible. You can find these on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, your local thrift store for super cheap. Like I said, I got this and 4 other PCs, it was $100 in total, but 20 bucks a piece. Now the reason is the accessibility to learn with this, right? Because it does have a PCIe slot versus a micro PC, you have a full world of things you can do with it. So when, for example, it's time to retire your Lenovo ThinkCentre, as a router, you can always just turn this into, your dedicated gaming server for Minecraft, Pow World, Valheim, whatever games you want, right? Or as your media server, because it is big enough to host a couple hard drives in here and has enough power to do that as well. But also, why would you make your own router? Well, for one, it's a learning tool, right? You can learn networking, VLANs, cybersecurity, firewalls on a router, how to set it up, configure, maintain. Another thing too is the fact that any new routers, specifically in the US, will not be allowed to be imported, right? So any currently available routers, they'll be safe, right? But I believe there was a limitation in terms of the security patches for those routers as well. So unfortunately, their time will be due. So it's really nice to have your own router that is not limited by, external sources. Now for the hardware, the only piece that I did install was this dual 2.5 gig NIC for the PCIe slot. And it does come with the 226V chipset. And honestly, the only real difference between this and the 225, which is the last generation, is the heat and an energy consumption and some reliability issues that the 225 had. So if you have the option for a few extra bucks, I'd go with the 226V, but your results may vary depending on the chipset. Also, you need to be sure that you get the right brackets for your NIC, because this one did come with both the full-sized bracket and the SFF bracket as well. So obviously, depending on the size of your PC, be sure that it comes with it, or you'll kind of be stuck with it for a little while until you either order another NIC that comes with it, or you just buy that bracket itself. Now it's time to actually open the PC up. So what's really nice about these business class style of PCs is that they're really modular. Things just kind of clip on and lift up. Like you can see here, just clipping off that front portion, and you just lift up that entire case that's holding the DVD drive and some hard drives. I will be slotting that NIC into the second PCIe slot there, the PCIe Gen 3 by 1 slot right there, just in case if in the future I ever want to, swap that out, or if I ever want to put in a graphics card there on top, I can do that for some media encoding. So you just grab that, slot that in. Be careful, well, especially with this specific NIC. It did seem pretty fragile, but I might be kind of crazy. It felt like something was going to snap under there, but just be sure to align it properly and you should be good. All right, now it's time to just put it all back together. We just snap that latch back into place and put that front panel back on. Be careful with these because it can be a little finicky, and if you slam it, it will break. And you just kind of put that metal enclosure back on, and that's it. Now that the hardware side is done, we are going to install OPNsense. Right here, just head to the download page and then leave everything as is, but I am going to be choosing the DVD version for the ISO rather than the VGA for the .image file, and that is because I will be using Ventoy rather than just flashing the USB in a conventional way. All right, and now that this has been downloaded, we're just going to extract it right here. So from here, we're going to go ahead and grab that ISO. Now, the really nice thing about using Ventoy, if you don't know what that is that you can just load as many ISOs as you want without having to flash it every single time for all of these different ISOs. Before we go ahead and put OPNsense on this, we are going to go into the BIOS of this machine to enable one setting. And the setting you are looking for is the after power loss setting. So whenever the M73 does die due to a power outage or anything else, it will restart on its own. So just enable that and we are going to press F10 to save and exit. Here we are in Ventoy. So this is the great thing about it. You can choose whichever ISO you have on here and load it. So now we are going to use OPNsense and hit boot in normal. And it's just going to go through the initial setup process. So I'll see you back when it's all done. Here you will be met with this once it's all loaded up. So we're going to log in using the installer as the username and OPNsense, all lowercase, as the password. Then from here, it'll just ask to install this. We are going to do CFS here. It's going to look for the operating systems. We'll just do Stripe with no mirroring. Here, you're going to choose the disk you want. So you press space to select or deselect, press OK, and then it's going to let you know that everything in there will be formatted. So you're just going to press yes and kind of let it do its thing. And while that's installing it, go ahead and see if you can grab a laptop, or if you have a computer that you're just not using at the moment, and go ahead and connect it to that. Mostly because if you hook it up right to your network, it will most likely knock your network down because of a DHCP conflict. So keep that in mind. Here you'll be met with two options. Either you can change the root password or complete install. I recommend doing a root password change, but for now we will do that and then hit reboot. And once the PC has finished restarting, you're going to be met with this. So you want to plug in your laptop or PC to here, the IGC0, which should be the new NIC that we installed on here. So now I have my M73 hooked up via Ethernet to my ROG Zephyrus. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to open up a web browser and try to go into the router. We'll see if it'll work. If not, I might have to flip the NICs around. Okay, so I did have to flip the NICs around to the second one that is on that card, and then be sure that you are on HTTPS, because it will not work and will not connect to it. So we are going to put in root and then the password, whatever you set it to, but if you left it as the default, we are going to just use OPNsense. When you first log in, you'll be met with this configuration wizard. So we are just going to go through it. It's going to ask for all this stuff. It should be fine, but actually let's see here. No, we are not in UTC, we are in EST. Not here. New York. Yep, here we go. And then you can set a manual DNS if you want to, if you have it configured already on your home lab. But if you do not, you can do something like 8.8.8 here, or you can do 1.1.1 if you don't have something like Pi-hole or AdGuard Home set up right here. And then we'll just leave it at that and then hit next. And then you can disable the WAN if you want to. Obviously, we don't want that. We can leave everything as is. Actually, for the WAN type, you have to check based on your current ISP, because some ISPs, they have DHCP, some of them have PPPoE. It just varies. I have DHCP, so we're going to leave it like that. And then for this part, this is what I was referring to earlier, that you can change the subnet of your LAN, and honestly, it is advisable you just leave it as is if you don't have much of any static IPs, because if anything, you can just change the subnet of your laptop or your PC, and then just go into each server and configure them manually if you have a few of them. But if you have an entire network of stuff that is static, you can go ahead, change this now to match your current gateway, but do not connect this until everything is configured, or else you will just drop your entire network. So here, leave it like that, and then hit next. Deployment type, I leave everything as is, and then you can change your password here. Then it's gonna ask you to reconfigure the firewall, and that's it. So if you started from absolutely nothing and you just left it as is like how I did, you are good to go. Okay, and here we go. So I did plug this into my switch because it is on a different subnet, that nothing broke, but you can see here it did assign me that IP of 4.1, which is my current gateway, rather than giving me an ISP provided WAN, if that makes sense. But you can see here, it has almost 500 gigs of storage, 16 gigs of RAM, Has the 4th gen i5 right here. Everything is working perfectly. You can just go on youtube.com right here. And I was not able to disconnect it from my current network because I've got some stuff running that can't have much downtime. But if you just go ahead and replace your current router with the LAN ports, like how you saw on my setup, it should transfer over just fine. Obviously, there may be some quirks and things, but it just depends on your ISP. You may have to completely restart your ONT so it can give your network a new lease for DHCP, and that's it. It isn't that hard to set up a router. It just takes a bit of time. Now, you might encounter some issues in regards to it not actually working if you do connect it right to your ONT. If you have fiber, be sure to try to restart the actual ONT to see if it can, give up the old lease. That's one thing I'd like to, let people know, because almost every issue I've had creating my current router was thanks to the ISP just being silly. So yeah, go ahead, give it a shot. I mean, remember, you can turn this PC into literally anything else you want once you are done with it and you've moved on. So yeah, let me know what you think, and happy home labbing.